Well done me, didn't mess anything up here. So, we want to talk about trading. I want to talk about trading, you want to hear about trading, and I want to try and make some money today. So, we are going to first of all look in on the 1 hour time frame here. That is going to be our daily buys. So, I would say that for today, well, coming into yesterday, what's that, the 5th, the 7th, the 8th, because we're on the 1 hour here. It recently has been bearish, bullish going up, bearish going down. So yeah, we've been in an upwards trend recently, and then when we get to, I like to just have all my quick ones that I use here. Previous high would be there. I would say we've got a breaker structure right here from nearest previous, the most recent low. We've broken through here on this big black candle. That then comes down, breaker structure, and then as well, if we were looking, for a fair value gap from there to there, we've tapped into it, and this would be, you've got liquidity sweep where it's like comes back up to meet previous highs here. Comes in, taps them, sweeps it down, retraces. That to me would scream, yeah, we're going to go for a really big liquidity sweep long term. So this is definitely a breaker structure. Whether that's breaker structure into a retracement or breaker structure, we're at the top of the market, because if we go out even higher to maybe like the 4 hour, you can see that, the past couple of months the market has been going up and up and up. Now this could be, we're at the top of the market here, so this could be a retracement, or it could be a trend, like a full trend change. But anyway, for us, for today, we don't care about that. My trading plan is literally find out, check on the hourly. So for today, we're actually bearish, we're going down. Now what we'll do is we'll go down to the 30 minute. Again, you can see here, comes down, sweeps that, and there's that same liquidity here, and then also on the smaller time frames here, on the 5 minute, this actually looks alright. What are we looking like on the 5 minute? Let me remove all the other drawings and stuff. Yeah, definitely looking to the downtrend, although I would kind of say this is consolidating right now for me. Yeah. Came down here. That's probably reacted off of a previous low. I'm going to guess one of them, is that one maybe? That one? Somewhere down here. That kind of area it's reacting off of. That's like your kind of recent lows over here. No, not them, it's about what, there. Yeah, kind of just dipping into like that previous low area. And then it's kind of jumped here, as you can see. Well, let's actually get that. There we go, so that's previous lows right there. So for me here, yeah, we are in a downtrend, but I would have been looking for it to finish a retracement somewhere like that. Sweep liquidity, oh my god, can I get my words out, up here, and then shoot to the downside, retracement. Let's see what we've got here. Previous highs, lows. For me, this is like quite choppy price action. This isn't the kind of stuff that I would want to trade. What I would have been wanting to see would be, came up somewhere around here, break a structure. So if it liquidity sweep up here, break a structure to the downside, starts coming down, passes through a fair value gap, then retraces a little bit. Like I'll try and show you one that I would take. Because I'm not the best at trading. I need... Right, somewhere like here. This for me would be perfect, where we go, right, so we're in a definite downtrend here. You know, we've got the breaker structure under, down, up. When that candle closes there, that's us in a 5-minute downtrend. Then, so that you could say is your liquidity sweep. Here, pushed above previous highs and then brings the market down. Then here, we're retracing. You could almost call this like a second one as well, where yeah, like that one there, it's kind of not as clear. This is where like I'm still trying to learn a lot of the markets and stuff like that, and for me that's kind of a difficult one. Oh, some good coffee. Yeah, but even this is all still pretty choppy price action here. And it's difficult. Right, mate? That's one I would go for. Liquidity, or previous high here, comes in, sweeps liquidity, comes down. Then what have we got over here? We've got a fair value gap, which this candle closes under, disrespecting it. We also have, where's our previous highs over here? Latest one would be down there and up there. So you've got breaker structure, liquidity sweep. See if this came back in a little bit higher as well, that would be like the perfect confluence to take. Where's the little pen? I need to get way better at this stuff. I just want a pen. Pen emojis. Right, maybe you're not getting a pen. Well, if that retraces into there, then it would shoot down. And for me, my confluences are, ignore my schedule. If I can get 1 hour, on the 1 hour chart, get my daily bias, like figure out what direction it's going in. Then on the 4 or 1 hour time frame, look for a liquidity sweep. That's like your general direction is confirmed. Yeah, I've got a liquidity sweep and I'm now going in that direction that you want to trade in. Cool. Go down to the 5 minute. Then I'm looking for my confirmation. That's my breaker structure or inverse for value gap. Then on my 5 minute time frame, I'm looking for another continuation, which would be when it goes into the fair value gap, which is what I was talking about there, where if it came up, pushed into the fair value gap, respected it and came back down, that's showing that, yeah, there's a lot of bearish momentum in the market. It's tried to push into this zone. There's too many sell orders in this area, or it's like a really strong sell order area. It can push the market back down. And then I could go into like a short position, you know, somewhere over here. I could even have looked for other ones, and you would just do, like, for this one it wouldn't have been ideal. You would have really wanted this to have kind of pushed up a bit higher. Yeah. So let's say that did end up going up a bit higher, and then you would target previous lows. So where have we got? Oh, this would stop fighting me. Down. So all you would do is just zoom out and go previous lows. There's one. There's another there. But for me, yeah, that one would have been the main one. I would have been targeting like that. not the best, 3.44 risk to reward, and that's with that not really being a good setup there, because as I said, it didn't show us all the confluences we wanted to see. But that's kind of like a general idea of what I would do. Stop loss above previous highs, which for in this trade's case would have been, oh my god, about here, which takes us down to 1 to 9.6, which just gives that the room to kind of come up and down. And the reason you would always put a stop loss below highs is because if that break goes above those highs, that's then breaking structure. That's moving in a different direction, and your idea is invalidated, and you don't want to hold on to trades like that. And I done that last night, where I was like, oh, like the market's in an overall uptrend and stuff like that. I know, what was it? Yeah, it was in an overall uptrend. I think I put buys on at the wrong time once it was in like a massive retracement. And I was like, no, it'll come back. And it just kept going down and down and down as I was in uptrends. I lost like 1.8 grand and I was so pissed off. And that's why you set stop losses, so that you're mitigating your risk. You only lose that little bit. Whereas I fucked it, for lack of a better term. Here as well, same again, liquidity sweep, break a structure, goes through the fair value gap, and then down. Oh, well, that's more of a retracement. You really want to look on the higher time frames for the liquidity sweep, somewhere around here, because you want to trade the biggest move you can. Why would you want to wait for, let's say, you trade against the market on a small liquidity sweep? So let's say like overall today it's in this time frame here, it's in bearish. Bullish, it's going up. Oh my god, can I get that right? So at this point here, you could say that's your high, comes up, sweeps liquidity. You could say, oh, it swept it, right, sell, and obviously go down to your 1 hour. We're in the 1 hour right now, but if you went down to like your 5 minute, you had your 5 minute breaker structure confirmation, then your inverse for value gap, and then it kept going down. You would just go like that, sell, all we need to do is sell. But it's like, how much are you going to make on, if I could select the right thing, let's say that you picked that, buys above highs, what's that, like I would have made £1,500 on that, which, don't scoff at things like that. I'd be pretty happy with stuff, but then what if you thought it was going down to there and then you've just been stopped out because you've traded on a retracement? Whereas if you were playing it a lot smarter, and you go, right, okay, we're in an uptrend, you're looking for your breaker structure or something like that, so like comes up, down, sweeps liquidity. Although that isn't a good example as well, but like if you're trading with the uptrend, it can just keep going up and up and up. You always want to be trading with the trend, so then you're catching the bigger moves, because if it's an uptrend, it's like higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Like, can you see that those moves right there are so much bigger? And that's something I struggle with a lot, where, let's say you were getting in somewhere around here, and you're targeting up to like there, like that move is massive compared to if you try and target the smaller one. What's that one? That's a 1 to 5.95, and that's a 1 to 6.64. I mean, maybe they would have worked for you. And that's where I can fall into that same boat as well, of I will try and trade quite often the wrong way that I shouldn't. Amount, that one actually seems to say that it would make me more. Anyway, back on to today. Remove drawings. So let's quickly go in the 1 hour here. So yeah, we are definitely breaker structure here. that's your last. In fact, that is actually your last 1 hour down there and up. That is your last low breaker structure there. So it was actually on that black candle that signified the breaker structure on the change of trend. Then we're going down here. So next we're looking for confirmation, because that was what yesterday. So yeah, overall trend, and this is the big one I was talking about actually, because I trade gold, and I think I got this move up, and I was like, yeah, we're, like, this is us, we're going to the moon and stuff, and then it's like, there is your absolute key liquidity sweep. And if I show you on gold, that is actually where I had a sell entered in, and I cashed out, I think at that bottom low there, and made like a couple £100, and then I was like, oh, and I saw that blue candle, and I was like, yep, it must be going back up and stuff, and then entered into buy again, and then holding a buy from here to somewhere like down here, that just wiped out 1.8k. But this is why you do the chart work. You look over it again and you go, that's where I messed up. Right, so if we scale down to 5 minute, well, even we'll look at this little bit today. So that signifies we're in an overall downwards trend. Then this could potentially be a liquidity sweep here. Not a strong one, and you can see it's coming up, but then it's still back down. So we've got high, low, lower high, lower low. So I would say this is still in a downtrend. That doesn't look like it's been the liquidity sweep you were looking for there. Like if it was, that would have continued to shoot back up today, especially with, what time are we on, like 10 o'clock, which is back in the UK, just after 9, 8:52 then. Yeah, so London's been open for a while now, and you would have seen like massive movement to the upside if it was a liquidity sweep. But you can see here, that was your retracement. We're now looking at coming further down. So let's go down to the 5 minute here, see what we can find. And here we are here, that was that previous what we thought was the liquidity sweep. There's your high. And you can see it came down, back up, that was that retracement, back down, hit off of that, back down, up. At this point, yeah, it's still just consolidating. There's not really much that we could trade on here. You need that big movement in the market, otherwise, right now, I could trade, and I could go, oh, was that a liquidity sweep off of like these lows down here? Is that it trying to come up? You know, we've got a breaker structure, so yeah, so it's in an uptrend now, or is that just a retracement for the overall downtrend? And this is just like a small bit of it. I can't really tell right now. There's not enough. Either A, I'm not good enough because I've not been trading forever. I don't have that market experience to go, oh no, that's what that is, because here, or it's just choppy market conditions right now. There's no clear indication of what way it's going to go. And for me as well, it's like if I can't clearly see something that lines up with my trading plan, I'm not going to take that trade. And yeah, that just whenever it's in a box, I usually just leave it. I would have needed this to have broken hard to the upside, then to the downside. And then even here, it's like, I think that's reacting off of that fair value gap. And there, that's my best get. Yeah, that's reacting off of that. But that would make you think that it is going to be a further downtrend. What I'll say, right, is, what have we got here? Let's say it reacts off of these highs here. I would then need liquidity sweep and a breaker structure and a fair value gap, inverse fair value gap. So what's the most recent one would be, we don't really have any. Got a little one there. And you can see that when the market came into that area there, it's going up, and then that's where the resistance is, at the fair value gap. It's not anywhere else. I think we just leave price for a bit here and wait for it to come up and either sweep out and see how, well, not sweep out, we'll see how it reacts off of that high. Well, sorry, that's actually your high there. Up and down, it's always the highest point, so it could react off at that point, and you can see here it looks like there has been some kind of reaction. Maybe there is a sweep to the downside. It could react off of that point. That's another one. That point. So like anywhere in this range, I would say there's a strong chance for a liquidity sweep. And this is where, like, a lot of the time I would think to myself, well, if I know it's going to go up and it's probably going to target previous highs, why don't I just get in buys and stuff like that? It's like, yeah, but how do you know it's not going to do exactly what it done earlier? Which is, you could go, oh look, liquidity sweep down here, we're on the uptrend and stuff like that, we're going to go up forever, target previous highs and stuff like that, and then it reacts off a fair value gap, or there's news that day, or it reacts off of something you don't know about. And for me, it's like, you want to try and trade with the market as much as possible to try and get the bigger moves, because why would you take the smaller trade? So, you know, trading on the upsides here when the down moves are going to be bigger. Yeah, so we'll see where this candle closes here. Still showing a lot of like strong bullish momentum. The good thing I will say though is, even in this smaller time frame, you'd have a lot of like moves to the upside like that and then moves to the downside. So what we'd be looking for here is, can I get my pen? Image tweets, nope. Does this have pen? No. 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 No. Arrow marker. Oh, brush. Right. And then let's turn off the magnet for it. So, does this show it? Yeah, so if this came up here, swept liquidity, started going down, say this has made a fair value gap or something, and then pushed back into it, and then came down like that, that's what I would be looking for about right now. Where that's your confirmation, as if it breaks structure, which in this case actually would mean it would have to go below that. Well, that's actually your low, so as long as this candle closes bearish, then if we were to close below that, if this candle, like on the retrace, closes below it and it invalidates that fair value gap, that's a really good sign. It would probably create a fair value gap here on the way down, somewhere around here. So let's say this big move down here creates a fair value gap. We trade into it, we get into the 1 minute time frame at that point, and then if we get a closure under that fair value gap, that's when I would enter, and I'd be targeting previous lows. Let's see, short position, I would then be entering about here. I would have my stop loss above the previous highs of there, and then I'd be targeting previous lows of here or here. So that's what I'm hoping we can do for a trade here, if this plays out the way I'm hoping it will. Target. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do, oh, that might be the retracement there. That it could just be doing it a lot sooner. I thought price was maybe going to go up here and round and stuff like that, but yeah, if it's doing it now, then let me get my phone ready in case I need to enter a sell. And also check your news as well. I've got the news app on my phone to see what's what. Okay, how is news look today? Oh, in fact, you know what I'll do? I'll let that play out, and then go with TGR. There we go. We can actually check the news here. Home news. Oh my god, why did I just get rid of that shit? Back, please. Ha, there we go. Systems. Have I got this economic portfolio? Market systems, news. Impact, and all we need to do. Event, interest rate, economic calendar. I don't think I've got this sent for today. Ah, there we go. The only ones we're interested, well, that I trade, is gold and against the US dollar. So if it's not that, I don't care. There is some high impact news here, but that's it. It's all at US Open, so that shouldn't affect us too much. Yeah, some high impact news at some point, but that's in a couple of hours. Right, okay, yeah, it's still trading the way I thought it was going to be, so that was just a little retracement there. Again, it's reacted off previous highs and stuff like that. Just gotta hope it comes our way. Oh, another news notification. I've just got to see that liquidity sweep, because I could enter in here and then it could react off of any of these highs right now and come completely against me. I would have to cash out almost at break even, and then you go, you're just taking a lot of little trades. Or let's say I enter right now and the second I enter it reacts off of one of these, because if I enter into a buy, that is. However, if it pushes above these, then yeah, that probably could have been a good spot to enter in. Right now it's just a lot of sitting, watching, waiting. Yeah, I'm gonna go get something to eat and I'll be back in a bit. Right. Oh my god, yep. And that's exactly why you don't try and do stuff like that before you know where the market's going. Move all of that, so now I'd be looking for the same thing but either off of this high or this one, and then if we go back up to 30-minute here, we've actually broken structure to the upside now. Again, this could just be a retracement, or yeah, actually a massive up candle here. This is where you've got to look at like the bigger picture stuff, where it's like usually we're in an uptrend. Could this be the retracement and this is us now coming back up? Or is this us still just in this downtrend and that's a retracement for the downtrend? 15-minute. Usually the 5-minute shows you like enough confirmation for what you need. Yeah, so here, just sit and wait, see what happens. See what it reacts off of. You've got previous highs right here that it's on, that it could react off of. And if it does, we'll be entering sales as long as it meets everything we need. But yeah, sometimes you do get liquidity sweeps like that are kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, sorry, it was actually yesterday. I got in. What was it? Yeah, buy positions where I probably shouldn't have. Well, actually, I got in a buy position here, and it came up to about here, and I sold. Nah, just leave it. I'm done with the sauna for now. And then I actually had a sell position right here, and I could have targeted a lot of previous lows. And in fact, no, I cashed out here, then put in more sell positions. No, sorry, that's where I put in the buy positions, and then get stopped out like down here. And yeah, maybe they do come back up. And that's always something I find difficult, is like if you're in, where was it? It was literally just before it retraced there. XAU. Possibly liquidity sweep here, we'll see if it pushes through. Sorry, long position. Why do these charts look so different? Oh, because that's why I'm on the 5 minute here and the 30 minute there. See what that's doing. Yeah, that's the bit that. So I had sells all the way up, like here, thinking that it was going to come back up, and then it was about here. No, it was like right at the bottom that I cashed out. It was something like that. That was a trade I took, and that's how much I lost on that massive candle down. Whereas I also, and this is where I keep kicking myself, I had entered short position here. Like, whatever. Yeah, that's a position I could have had with like almost no risk to reward. Oh, shit. Like that could have been the trade I was taking. Sell above highs. Anyway, long term here, what are we doing? Still uptrendy, break the structure to the downside. Is this the retracement for the downside, or is this a break of structure back to the upside, and that's the retracement here, that big candle? Because in that case, then we could be seeing higher highs right now. I think we'll see when we get to this bit here. I think it's difficult to say though, because we are at like all-time highs. Oh shit, or maybe that was your uptrend. That was your retracement. And this is a new uptrend, we broke structure to the downside. Oh shit, yeah, because look, right. That's exactly what I've been talking about. Go to the upside, back down, liquidity sweep. Right here, taps in, liquidity sweep, comes back down into your zone. I'm sure we could find a fair value gap or something like that here that we could have traded off of. But yeah, liquidity sweep comes up, back down into your zone, retraces a little bit, and then to the moon. So what I could have probably done would have been here. Oh, well, I mean, it's not as clear actually in this one. But yeah, I could have tried to catch that little uptrend there. Oh, now that I'm looking at it, it's not as clear. I don't know. I'll need to give it a bit of time, see how it reacts on the 5 minute to these highs right here. maybe we'll get another break of structure, and then that could be our downtrend. I don't know. I'll come back in a bit and see. No price movement at top of the market here. It's just sticking around this previous high, so wait for New York now. Nothing's going to change. Yeah, probably just going to consolidate here for a while, up, down a little bit. Need big money to come in, so back again at half 2.